Getting started with Navisworks. We're going to need this navigation bar, and we're going to also need the view cube. So in the event that you don't have them turned on, let's go ahead to the top and come to view. And now we're going to go ahead and come over to navigation bar, and you can toggle it on and off. You can see that over there on the right side it's off now, so I'm going to turn it back on. I'll toggle the cube on and off. There we go. So we have the cube and we have the navigation bar. Let's go back to the home screen. On the home screen, we're going to turn on properties, and then we're going to turn on the selection tree. Now let's go ahead and undo the pin so that it automatically hides itself. And we'll do that with the properties as well. That way you only need to hover when you need it. Okay, so next, there are different ways to navigate through the model. We're going to start off with the feet. So come over here and select walk. So now we're going to hold down. This is the section that we're going to go to, right where my feet are, right here. I'm going to go where the spine, this pipe rack spine right here, intersects with this other portion of the pipe rack. So let's go ahead and hold the mouse wheel down, and you'll see that it changes this cursor from the feet to the crosshairs. So let's hold the mouse wheel down and slide the screen down, and you can see that we're moving down. Okay, so now I'm going to let go, and you can see that I've got the feet, and I'm going to hold down the button, and if I move my mouse to the left, it turns to the left. If I move my mouse to the right, it turns to the right. I can move it forward, I can do it back, and now we're doing the hokey pokey. Okay, so let's go and hold the mouse wheel in, and we're going to move over to the left, and now you can see that we're sliding to the left there. And I'm going to scroll up on the mouse wheel, and it shifts the way that we're looking at it. So I need to go from a plan view to an elevation. I'm going to hold down the mouse wheel again and zoom on down. If you play with this for a little bit, you'll get the hang of it rather quickly. So we're going to go over to the right, go down a bit, scroll up. All right. So now it's almost like we're standing in front of it. And now we're going to hold down the mouse button and skip right in. Now we're going to want to come into this pipe rack, so I'm clearly not in the best position. So I'm going to come over here a bit, get it right in the center of my screen, scroll up a bit so that I'm looking right at her, and we're going to come down. Oh, I want to go to that third row here. One more. Okay, so now I'm going to go right down this alley. And I'm going to come over here. All right. So let's assume for 1 second that this is where you're working at in the facility. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff there. Well, let's say you're the lucky guy or gal or person or they. You're routing this section of the piping. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a save point. So that is right here, and do save point, and we can name it. So we're going to call this my section. Now if I scroll, oops, let me go back. Actually, I just clicked my section and I'm back already. I'm going to come back out. Oops. And I'm going to get a good plan view of where I'm working at. So oops. There we go. And we're going to create another save point, and we're going to call this plan. Okay, so we have our plan, and we have my section. So click my section, back to plan, my section, back and forth. Now, when you're working on a big facility such as this, every day they're going to update they're going to use automation to rebuild the Navisworks model. And so you're going to have your save point. So what you're going to need to do is navigate to your specific spot in the model, make your save points, and then you're going to need to export them. Okay, to export our save points, we just come over here to the save points, right click, export viewpoints, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on my desktop. You're going to want to find a place to save it where they're not deleting files, and I'm going to put my viewpoints. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete these. Oops. Nice. And then I'm going to right click, import viewpoints. And it doesn't matter if they've updated the model, you can go right back to your section. So, we did skip one specific task when it comes to setting everything up. Let's go to Home, File Options. Let's come down here and set this to Constrained. And we're going to put this to 0.0625 and again 0.0625, and that sets your clipping planes. Now let's go ahead and if you're going to be working in this section, this is a pretty busy model, so we're going to need to cut some things out to make this useful. So let's come over here to Viewpoint, and we're going to click Enable Sectioning. And now we're going to take this back to the box. And if I take this cursor instead of the feet, I can completely lose track of what I'm working on. Let's see if I can find it. I can't. Uh-oh, that's a problem. So I'll shut that off. Go back to my section. Oh, turns out it's not a problem. Let's just try again. Enable sectioning. Box. Cursor. And let's scroll straight back. And back a little bit more. And now I'm going to select the feet. And I can try to align myself up so I'm looking right at the box. Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is I can now grab the box by selecting on what you're looking at right here. So I'm going to grab the yellow box and I can just move it wherever I want. So I can slide it down or up, or right or left. I can also change it to rotate, and I can now rotate it. But I'm going to put that back to where it was. And I'm going to do scale. Actually, let me come out of this because this is all wonky. Go back to my selection, enable, and then I'm going to come down to the box. I'm going to get the little arrow, and I'm going to scroll back so I can see this guy. And now we are going to go to scale. Oops, scale. And I am going to shrink the box. Now if I grab this, I can shrink it down top to bottom, because I don't need to show all of that. And then I can reduce the sides So now I've got the box to the relative size that I would like it to be. I can move around. I'm going to put it back on the arrow, and I can just scroll forward and I'll zoom back in. I'll get the feet, and I can navigate to my specific spot. And now this is more manageable. I don't have to look at everything else that's going on. And I can create a viewpoint right here, and I'm going to call this my section clean view. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it happy little tree if that gets it done for you. So now you can go from my selection to the plan view to the clean. Next, we're going to take a look at coming over here and splitting the view. To split the view, we're going to come back under View and select Split View. And you can split it horizontally or vertically. Horizontally usually works pretty well because then you can be in the position where if you're running dual monitors, you can actually put it right there so you're looking at both, or you can run it on one monitor. Anyway, no matter what you want to do. So I'm going to click in this specific window, and as you can see, that annoying little tool's in the way. So if I unclick move, the little tool goes away, and I can just navigate around as I desire. I can also come over here and I can look at my plan view, so that in one screen I have my plan, and in this section I have my clean view. Oops, my plan, and I gotta click in here, then I can do my clean view, or I can come back to my section. Whatever works for you. And then when you figured out what you want to do, the extra view, you can just get rid of it, or you can bring it back. It's all right there on the auto hide, or you can just close it with the X. So let's go back to my clean view. Okay, now just for grins and giggles, we're going to click to my section, and we're going to take a look at this specific piping. Let's go ahead and chase this down. And I'll spin back around. Back up. Oops. I can come on down. So right there, I have clocked the piping. So let's just assume for 1 second that it's my job as the designer right here to tap into these lines and come up off of them. So I'm going to just try to get past this yellow line here. Okay. So if this is the origin of what you're routing, you can go ahead and do a save point. Let's call this 0, 1. And now we're going to come back up. We're going to come back up here to where this piping turns. And we can do a save point. We're going to call this 0, 2. And now let's go ahead and chase this pipe down. Uh-oh. Somebody shit the bed. And then we're going to come right down here. I know I passed it. Just zip right back around here. Noise effects are a critical path. And there we go. And we're going to call this save point 3. And now we're going to go ahead and come down. and I'm going to call this 04. Not to worry, I'm not going to chase the whole lines down. But let's go ahead and follow this down to a specific point here. We're going to follow it right to here. And we're going to call this 05. So now we're going to make a video. Let's skip back to the first point. And then we're going to come over from home to animation. And we're going to click on record. And then we're going to go ahead and hit 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then stop. And we are going to call this animation Chase. Chase my section. So now we can go ahead and select on Chase my section and hit play. And it didn't do a fucking thing. Oh, there it goes. And we're done. So that's how you make an animation. Now we'll cover a few last tools. We're going to click on my section. Let's do the clean view. And now let's come over to the review tab. So over here to the review, and we'll go ahead and click measure. And I'm going to select right here. And then I can just select whatever point else I want. And so I'm going to click there. And now that gives you all of your measurements. So you can see we're sitting here at 2.87 meters. Alright. So next we can go from that to, we can do a angle or an area or a pick line. I think those are all self-explanatory, or we can just go ahead and hit clear and it all disappears. A lot of these tools here are rather self-explanatory. So if we go ahead and we get to that section where that person routed pipe right through one of the beams, you can go ahead and throw on that nifty little cloud if that's what gets it done for you. So this concludes our little demo. Thank you very much.